Hey guys, so it is Natty B after cancer, and yes, it has been a seriously long time. Well, maybe not that long, probably a couple of months or so since I have made a video, but I am back because it has been a very interesting last 3-4 months or so. And as you can see by the title of this video, I am with child. Yes, this young breast cancer survivor is carrying a child. Now, I'm sure many of you guys are curious, like, whoa, I thought you were in menopause. You were supposed to hold off on having children. How about your health? What's going on with that? What does this mean for your health? I'm sure you guys have 101 questions. And the bottom line is I do want to answer all of those questions or whatever other questions you may have that I'm comfortable with answering. I just wanted to make this video really quickly to say that I'm back. I'm going to try my best to be consistent as best as possible. But I don't look like what I looked like this summer when I was doing the raw veganism. And actually, if you guys remember me doing, and I'm gonna put it somewhere up here, if you guys remember me doing a video, I think it was back in like July, maybe, or August, something of that sort, where I talked about feeling really sick and I didn't understand what was happening. And I was on my 18th week of being raw vegan and I was upset with myself and I was frustrated and I was like, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? This is what was going on. So that's what was happening within me, but I had no clue, and now it all makes sense why suddenly I felt nauseous all the time, why suddenly sitting in front of the computer felt like I was seasick, why suddenly raw food I just couldn't stomach. And for those of you guys who did get a chance to watch that video, I was so adamant about how I just could not stomach raw food anymore. So to go from being 90% raw vegan and doing so well to just waking up one day and eating a raw apple just was like, bleh. So, I mean, that's it. It's because I was pregnant, but I had no clue. And for those of you guys who may or may not, I am a stage 2 breast cancer survivor. I was diagnosed at the age of 29. I had estrogen receptor positive, HER2 negative breast cancer in my right breast. It was removed. I also had a bilateral mastectomy. I've had a total of 5 surgeries including a port that was put into my chest, which is where I got my chemo. I also had a total of 24 weeks of chemo, AC plus T, arimocydin, something, and then 12 weeks of Taxol. The first half of my chemo was bi-weekly. The second half of my chemo was every week. And I did not have radiation. And then subsequent to that, I was actually induced into menopause when I started chemo, but the kind of full-blown menopause started immediately after chemotherapy. So I was not able to have children or anything of that sort. Again, I know you guys are wondering, then how or why are you pregnant, right? Well, all I want to really do in this particular video is to express my excitement and my gratitude for being able to start a family. Now, this does not mean that there aren't things that I need to be mindful of. This does not mean that I don't, I still see my oncologist. They're looking at me pretty closely. I was seeing him every 3 months before. Now I'm seeing him every month, every 4 weeks. For those who are curious, I just started my 7th month of pregnancy. I'm heavy, I'm tired, but I'm grateful and I am excited. And I'm not really sure what else to say today other than I really did not know that I was pregnant. And I found out exactly 9 days after attending a friend's wedding in South Carolina, where I was just like having a blast. I was drinking, cocktails, cocktail hour. Like I was just enjoying myself, only to find out that I was 15 weeks pregnant, 9 days later. When I tell you the shock on my face as I was laying on a table, the shock on my husband's face when I told him, it was crazy, 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 crazy. So really quickly before I end this video, this is how I found out that I was pregnant. So, can you see me? All right, so how did I find out I was pregnant? Well, I was experiencing some really strange pelvic symptoms. It was like this strange pelvic pressure that I hadn't experienced before. And one of the things that about cancer or any medical ailment that could potentially kill you is that once you have experienced it, there's always this voice in the back of your head. Sometimes you're able to like close the door, lock it, and put it away for a while, and sometimes it comes out to party. But there's this voice that constantly wonders if the cancer is back. So I will be honest, though I didn't necessarily admit this out loud, when I was experiencing that pelvic pressure, I did have a small concern that maybe something cancer related was going on in my cervical or ovarian area. So during the summer, I spoke with my oncologist. Unfortunately, we had an in-person appointment, but because of COVID, we ended up having our appointment over the phone. And when he asked, he was like, "Any other symptoms?" I brought this up. So then he suggested that the next time I have a OBGYN appointment to make sure that I bring this up. So fast forward, I had an OBGYN appointment in September. And, just kind of going through the normalities. I think what was really on my mind at that time is making sure that my pap smear comes back clear, because last year in 2019, it actually came back abnormal. But thankfully this year it came back normal. I again shared with my GYN the pelvic pressure, and he was like, well, let's monitor it. At that time, I said I hadn't really felt it in about 3-4 weeks. And I was like, monitor? Whoa, 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 whoa. We're not going to monitor anything. I'm trying to prolong my survival. I'm trying to be proactive here. I need you to take a look at this now. I'm glad he heard me. He heard me loud and clear. So they offered me 2 appointments. One was going to be October 8th. And the other one was going to be like November 11th, something of that sort. So I was like, I'll do whatever I've got to do to get into the October 8th appointment. So they scheduled me for a vaginal ultrasound. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but it's an ultrasound where they take a wand, they stick it in your vagina, they go up there and they look very closely to see if anything is going on. Long story short, I'm laying on the table. Nurse looks at me and she's like, well, could you be pregnant? And I'm thinking to myself, quietly, I'm thinking, well, this nurse clearly hasn't read my chart. And I was like, no way I could be pregnant. I don't even have a menstrual cycle. So she says, well, when was the last time you had a menstrual cycle? And I was like, March 2017, right before chemo. And she's looking at me and she's like, okay, all right. So I lay on the table, she's doing her thing. I'm on my phone sending emails, and the nurse or the person doing the sonogram, I hear her say, well, I think we know why you've been experiencing this pelvic pressure. I'm like, okay. Part of me was trying to avoid what I thought was going to be scary news, which is why I was actually quite intentional about distracting myself. And I heard her say, there's a baby in here. I'm thinking she misunderstood. So my response was, oh no, I can't get pregnant yet. And she rebuttals that again and says, look up at the screen. Not only are you pregnant, but you're 15 weeks pregnant. All I could do was cry. 15 weeks pregnant. I've been pregnant. I was literally in my 2nd trimester. I have been pregnant all this time and had absolutely no clue. Stay tuned for more on this series of I Didn't Know I Was Pregnant, the story of a young breast cancer survivor. Natty B After Cancer. Till next time.